What do you mean by that, Mrs. Earl?
That is what Leonard wants me to say, is it not?
Well, it's the truth. You said so just now.
I have to understand, to be sure. If I say yes, it is so, and Leonard was with me and the flight is 9:30, would they acquit him? Will they let him go?
If you are both speaking the truth, then yes, they will have to acquit him.
But then I said that to the police. I do not think they believed me.
Why don't you think they believe you?
Perhaps I did not say it very well.
You know, Mrs. Vole, I'm not quite sure I understand your attitude in all this.
So you don't understand? Well, perhaps it is difficult.
Well, perhaps your husband's position is not quite clear to you.
I have already said that I want to understand fully just how black the case against my husband is. I say to the police, Leonard was at home with me at 9:30, and they do not believe me. But perhaps there was someone who saw him leave Miss Fudge's house, or who saw him in the train on his way home.
Your husband cannot remember of anything helpful of that kind.
So it will only be his will and mine. And mine. Thank you, that is what I wanted to know.
Mrs. Vole, please, there's a lot more to be discussed.
Not by
But
me.
why not, Mrs. Vole?
I shall have to swear, shall I not, to speak the truth and all the truth and nothing but the truth.
Well, that is the oath you take.
And suppose that then, when you ask me, when did Leonard Vole come home that night, I should say...
Well?
There are so many things I could say.
Mrs. Vole, do you love your husband?
Leonard says I do.
Mr. Vole believes so.
But Leonard is not very clever.
You are aware, Mrs. Vole, that you cannot by law be called to give testimony damaging to your husband.
How very convenient.
And your husband
He is
can...
not my husband.
What?
Leonard Vole is not my husband.
Oh.
He went through a form of marriage with me in Berlin. He got me out of the Russian zone and brought me to this country. I did not tell him, but I had a husband living at the time.
He brought you out of the Russian sector safely and into this country. You must be very grateful to him. Are you?
One can get tired of gratitude.
Has Leonard Vole ever injured you in any way?
Leonard injured me? He versus the crowd and knock on.
And you?
You want to know too much.
I believe we need to make things quite clear. Your statements have been somewhat ambiguous. What exactly happened on the evening of October 14th?
Leonard came in at 25 minutes past 9 and did not go out again. I have given him an alibi, have I not?
Oh, you have, Mrs. Vole. Mrs. Vole,
Yes?
you're a very remarkable woman, Mrs. Vole.
And you are satisfied, I hope.
Oh, I am damned if I'm satisfied.
No, I.
She's up to something, that woman, but what? I don't like it, John.
Well, she certainly hasn't had any hysterics over your
No,
chambers.
no, she's as cool as a cucumber.
What's going to happen if we put her in the witness box?
God knows.
The prosecution will break it down in no time, especially if it's mine.
Well, if it's not the Attorney General, probably will be.
Yes. So, what's your plan of attack?
The usual. Keep interrupting. As many objections as possible.
Beats me. Is young Bulls convinced of her devotion?
Don't put your trust in that. Any woman can fool a man if she wants to and if he's in love with her.
He's in love with her, all right. Trusts her completely.
No. More fool he. Never trust a woman.